Let's look at the financial models of music publishers today. There really are just a couple that are public companies that have raised, for whatever reason, money through going public, and they're private. What are the pros and cons of being a music publisher and being a public company versus a private company? Ralph?
It is a source of fascination within the industry in recent years. I believe the reason for that is that the sources of financing can be perceived as a driver of strategy. And that is why it translates over into how a company operates. But for all of us music publishers, what's so important to understand is it's first and foremost about songwriters, our relations with songwriters, our ways of working with their overall career, and to bring them the best possible results from their creative work.
Ralph, at Peermusic, you've got the Spanish repertoire and Anglo-American repertoire, and Andre, your company started out with the backing with some huge pop music, you know, from the Universal sellout after acquiring BMG, and then you go into Boosey and Hawkes and classical repertoire. How are you integrating, as a manager, classical, pop, all the different types of genres of music?
How I'm doing it is actually very simple, because Boosey and Hawkes is the back office of our total organization. Okay. So Boosey and Hawkes knows how to do grant rights because they're doing it for a long time already. They know how to do rental rights, and they do what they call small performing rights, which for pop publishers is normal performing rights, and mechanical rights. So they have the system intact already to do all these various streams of income and to pay it through. And we will add the pop business now, when it comes down to the back office, to the Boosey and Hawkes organization.
And Ralph, over the years, how have you been able to, you have such a large Spanish language repertoire and American, how have you been able to integrate these different genres and really flourish as an independent?
To answer your question, our company has grown up, as you well know, over many years. We're 85 now. And as it's grown, we have added the expertise required in these various territories. For us, the international reach that we have is a very important aspect of our personality. And for instance, as part of our approach, as far as I know, we have no Americans working for us overseas. We have always felt that it was very important to be part of the local, lowercase c, cultural community, wherever we operate, in order to be sympathetic, in order to understand, in order to appreciate the cultural values that were available through the local songwriters. And by being involved in the local infrastructure in that way, I have always felt that we are in the most effective position to promote the international repertoire, which through our chain of sub-publishing, each of the offices represent.
I would like to ask both of you to, for a moment, set any modesty aside and tell me, what do you, as a publisher, do best? What is really, really great about your company? Ralph?
Well, first of all, it's not me, but I am very fortunate to be working over a long term with some very experienced, very capable personnel in many countries of the world. It is these individuals which give us a strength and, I believe, a unique quality. Secondly, I have to talk about being independent, because I consider that a very important attribute and an asset of our firm. And I talk about independence in two ways. One, that we're not user associated, and secondly, that we're independent financially. We're a strong company financially, and we're entirely dependent and able to support ourselves in our current structure, which I think is a useful form of independence to have right now. I think that the global reach is very important for Peermusic, because today issues travel around the world very quickly. We're a company where we foster communication among ourselves. We know what's going on in one country and how it moves to another. And therefore, when we work with a particular songwriter, we have a context in which we can judge how that music might travel best. We partner with the entire team surrounding a songwriter artist in order to help develop their career and to lend what I think is very valuable expertise and point of view of the value of the song as part of the overall persona of the individual we're dealing with.
It's not one thing, it's a combination of factors which makes it, I think, unique. Aggressive marketing, promotion, synchronization, so very active on the front line. Good contacts with your writers, and also having the possibility with regard to the number of writers you have on your rosters to give them a lot of attention. At the same time, where with good independence it often went wrong, having a very strong financial basis. Of course we have to make profit as well, and of course we have to come up with our results as well, but we have at least with the pension fund an organization who is financially very strong and who wants to support this on the long term. And the combination of that four factors, including what is necessary today as well, is that you have an extremely strong administration. The administration should not be a system which can produce your statements and have a good copyright system, but you should be up to date with having the possibility to check your albums. You have 3 tracks, you only get 1 track accounted on from the societies. You automatically claim the 2, you get 50%, but you know that you have 100% on that song. So that whole system is of course also very important to optimize the information and the financials for your writers, but also for yourself. So I think we not have yet, because we're still a growing organization, and especially in America we still have to do something to make us as strong as we are in the UK. But we will reach that, I'm pretty confident about that this year. And also the fact that next to the UK and America, and of course as we are based in Holland, where we have our own offices, it is also our philosophy that in the other markets we don't want to have our own offices. We want to be with the strongest independent, and also because of the following reason. If I start my own offices in these other markets, I might end up with having 1 or 2 people. If I go to the strongest independents, I have a good organization there with enough people again who can work on synchronization, administration, etc. And at the same time, with the size our catalog is becoming, we are a very important player. So they work very hard for us to do their utmost. And there's always, of course, a little bit the fear that if they don't good enough, I have the possibility at least to think to go to somebody else in the market. So that's a nice, talking about competition in an earlier panel, that helps here as well.